Welcome to the Hour Show once again on ADTV. Today I have in the studio the UK Chairman of the NPP, Mr. Kingsley Agyapong. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Agyapong, today we are going to discuss crucial and critical topics on this show. First of all, tell me a little bit about the NPP and what it stands for.
NPP, first of all, let me say hello to your viewers.
Okay.
NPP has been a fighting force since 1947. If you want the background,
Okay.
it's quite a bit of a history.
All right. Okay.
And then it came back to the UP and all that. But then when the 1979 agitation happened, the coup, all parties were broken. And then Liman came after that, then the PNDC for 11 years. So it's within that 11 years when this group that was actually fled from the country to the United Kingdom. Even some of them were CPPs. That was where it started from, like 1983. And then it also, the NPP people that joined that group, there was a group here. And then the people that came from that side of the UP tradition, they joined them. So it became a group that was literally fighting and creating agitation for us to come back into the democratic rule as we are today. And then 1985, the part of the UP group also formed their own side of it, which was the 1985, and then was pursuing it on their own to fight the system of the dictatorship of Rawlings at the time as a leader of that particular PNDC. And then also from that, they push and push until we got to that point where we have to bring the country back into democratic system. And so that was when NPP was actually reintroduced as a new patriotic party. I mean, the UP was reintroduced as a new patriotic party. So that is where it starts from. It's a party that our ideology is to make sure that we make people have that freedom that they're supposed to have. Capitalist party where we want to create more jobs for people. If you look at our background, we are not even social democrat, but we've actually even taken both, and that we are working on those side of it as well. If you look at 2000, this democratic dispensation started in 1992. We lost the election at the time, even though it was rigged.
That is an allegation. Why do you think it was?
That is why we wrote the stolen verdict, if you can remember that.
Okay.
Maybe you were young at the time. That time I was a polling agent.
Okay.
In 1992. So from that time, the leader was Professor Dubois. Then it came to even that time, the NPP did not even go to parliament because they boycotted that parliamentary election because of all those issues that came up. And then 96, then 2000, then we came to government, and you saw the work that President Kufuor did. We inherited a highly indebted nation, a country that is completely poor, that nobody will even look at you to give you anything, which is years ruling from PNDC to the NDC for 19 years. And that is what they left for party to start, that wave as a government to energize the system, rebuilding the system. All our institutions were not functioning, roads were not good, electricity system, everything almost. And so President Kufuor started, begging, going to country to bring us where we are. And we did fantastic job. Social interventions upon social interventions that we have never seen before, like Metro Mass Transit, national health insurance.
We'll get to all that achievement Kufuor actually did. I'm more concerned about your current government. I mean, do you read the news at all? Do you hear what goes around?
In fact, if you look at what is happening around the world, Ghana is no exception to that. As a matter of fact, I will have to be fair.
Okay.
That maybe there are certain areas that the government probably could have done better.
Such as?
In terms of people are calling for a lean government and all that, but it also depends on how the workload is. And so on that side, I might not be able to, fight my government too much on that front. But the world is in a mess. People don't want to hear this.
But Ghana seems to be in a much serious mess than it is, because it's a very small country.
Well,
and if you look at the comparisons of figures and in terms of the infrastructures and what you've done for the country, I think you cannot justify it, and that is where people are having issues with your government.
No, it's not that people are having issues. It's a perception.
Okay.
Because if you look at infrastructural development in the history of our country,
right,
our government has even done roads much more than even from independent. If you look at
more than Kufuor. Well, but why are people not talking about it? Why is your team not talking about it?
Okay, I think that is quite a dicey point.
Yes.
Probably we might be able to come back to that. But then you're talking about why is it that the country is complaining too much and things like that. And I think this system of the world that everybody is complaining.
Right.
You sitting here with me.
Yes.
You know how our bills in this country have gone up. All right. Electricity bills have gone up. Prices are so high, even though it went down a bit. I was in Ghana about 2-3 weeks ago. Our one has been stable for almost a year, but just living here to Ghana, June and back, it's become something else. And so you look at all these things, it go to a point where even in this country, you can't even buy water, let's say 2 boxes of waters and taking it out.
I do understand.
It's something that we cannot ignore, right? If a disaster of this type, which is this pandemic, all right, has happened, and I'm glad that you've raised it.
Right.
Have you ever heard in the history of this world that planes around the whole world have been grounded for more than 1 year?
Yeah, we've moved past that.
We haven't.
But hold on a minute. Coming to talk of COVID, we still pay COVID levy in Ghana. Why is it?
Well, it's the government that is in charge at the moment, and I think.
But you are part of that government.
Yeah, exactly my point. Now, you see, people might not be a bit up to date with the things that are happening in terms of the levy. This country is in a mess. Well, maybe my government. Of course, yes, we need it because we have come up not to lie to the people. We've come up openly telling them that the country is not in good shape and that we need to do our best to make sure that we bring the country back. All these are things that
you charge it through levies of COVID. Well, when we have actually gone past.
I think that question can be answered by the finance ministry and all the systems that they are putting in place. Well, to be fair, the name COVID levy probably might not be something that it's supposed to be on. So
exactly.
In that point, it's something that you're right. Maybe it's there. We need it. Should we change the name? How do we title it with? And all that.
Are you then recouping all the monies you actually spent during the COVID back from COVID? Is that why you're calling it COVID levy?
Well, not all, but it's part of this spending that we have, infrastructures that were not even in the pipeline, in the plan to even.
But infrastructure is not. I sometimes get I had a guest prior to you, and he's more an MDC sympathizer. But I'm very strict and very hard on these topics because when you build infrastructure, is that an achievement as a government?
No, I'm not talking about just infrastructure. I'm talking about infrastructure that we did in terms of the time of COVID, where we have no any idea that something like this is going to happen.
Okay.
You know, people, we gave water free for the whole of more than a year or
Why
something.
can't it be free for every time in Ghana?
Sorry, say it again.
Why can't water be free?
Why?
You did free NHS, free SHS.
It's water free in the United Kingdom.
No, it's not. But you could make it free.
We were in a situation whereby we were not in normal times, and in Ghana, the reason why the president did that wasn't a joke, because look, telling somebody to go and wash their hands frequently by paying their own, water bill. They won't do it. So the government to do that. So let's use some strategy, put some strategy in place so that it can give them that, because we want people to wash their hands. And now you are aware that those days, wash your hands, do this, wear your mask and all that.
Right.
And so it's not that the government was so happy to do that, but they were forced to do it. Electricity that people were paying at that time was also free. The health sectors, people that were working in the health sector, we even increased their wages to about 50%. And, there was so many things that we did in that time, because it was necessary at the time that President said that we know how to bring back the economy, but we cannot bring back anyone who is dead.
Yeah.
So if we lose so many lives, we can't bring them back. But let's sacrifice.
Okay.
Let's put in whatever effort that we can put in at the time to make sure that we save lives. And after that, we rethink of how we can recoup and bring this economy back.
You had a lot of televised broadcasts for COVID updates, especially from the president. Why are you not doing the same with the economy, since you guys, you went through the system with the people? When the time came with COVID, you were quite informative with it. Why are you not doing that with the economy now?
Okay. See, these are legitimate questions.
Right.
Okay. At the time that we were doing that in Ghana, United Kingdom was also doing the same. Okay.
Right.
Today here, how many times does the Prime Minister comes out and speak about the economy and give an update and update and update? It's time to work.
Okay.
It is time now to work and sort out the mess.
And your government is working.
And so the government is working tirelessly, making sure that we bring this economy back. Because if you can recollect, I think last year, December, okay, was it this one? Yeah, it was this one, where the cedi and dollar was in that competition, where the whole country was also almost in a mess. We have worked seriously to try and control the economy, and we have done really well in that. At the moment, the cedi has been stable. At the moment, the inflation that was rocketed went up, is coming down. So at the moment, the fuel prices have been stable for almost a year. And I think the government is working. It's not when there's a damage,
right,
fixing it is not an overnight job.
You made an analogy with the UK. You can never compare the UK to Ghana. The people here have different understanding. The news networks work differently as compared to what is in Ghana. Don't you think your information department should do more?
We have done a bit more than that. Look, recently, I think the information ministry has even put up some sort of engagement with the country. And I think almost every week, they are calling some of the ministers and the CEOs and all of these people to come and give update to the people. Haven't you followed that?
I have.
Okay,
but it's not enough. It's not reaching.
We're talking about specific as the economy, talking about the economy all the time.
Right.
We have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
We cannot spend too much time talking about the economy, giving you update. Work. We've got 4 years mandate. At the moment, we have about less than 1.5 years to go. And we have to work. We have to make sure that by the time we get to that end, the economy has come to a certain level where it might not be completely stable as how it might be, because even in the United Kingdom right now, they are even collecting more kind of a revenue from even visas from outside. The Prime Minister came out to say that there's that kind of a struggle, that they're not going to even use internal resources because they don't have. And so they are going to increase the prices of people applying for visa to come to this country, because this country is a tourist attraction and people work here. It's international engagement in terms of business and everything. So people coming in here, they have sat down and thought that now we can make money out of it to cushion ourselves to a certain degree. And now we also introduce an e-levy to also cushion ourselves a little bit. Now, it's not enough. This country, people are working. Everybody, almost a higher percentage is at work, and that they also contribute to the growth of the country. Ghana is not like that. And I think we cannot, as you said, compare the two. It is true. We can't. What can we do? Let's do our best to make sure we get the economy going first, and then we build upon that.
You have in the UK, as you compare most of the time to the Western, like America, there's a lot of reshuffling in government. Why is it not happening in your government?
As a matter of fact, that question, I'll force the president to do a reshuffle. But I think you're right. Even the president himself probably know it's right for him to do reshuffle, but for some reason I don't really know the reason why. Even myself, I've spoken about this on TV or radio or anywhere. You remember the last time when about over 80 parliamentarians were also calling for same, but you know, it's his style of governance. We don't know. I think last week or this week there was this news on papers that the president is going to be doing reshuffle, and even Ghanaians are saying, oh, it's long overdue. Well, you know, sometimes, I'm not very sure, but when people push you, if there are certain things that you have to do and that maybe you didn't do due to one or two reasons, and then the agitation come to a certain level that maybe one or two people are leading it and say, we are going to force you to do this, that also becomes a bit of a confrontational approach. And sometimes it's a leadership control. You might probably be thinking, because you're human, that I wouldn't want to give in for them to be right. But I think what you're saying is right. If the president can look into it and see how best, maybe, because some people have been in places for too long, and it's something that is worrying many people in the country, not only even those who are in Ghana, but even outside world. Why do we have a platform of reshuffle? If the president thinks that the things that he's doing, if he's also happy with the people that he's working with, then obviously, you know where the judgment comes in, it will be at the 7th December in the election. Because whatever it is, it's about what we will do. If we manage to do it and do it well with what he is called, and still deliver, that won't be a problem there. But if it's not really happening and it takes us to a certain degree whereby we are getting to a certain point where Ghanaians have to decide, can probably go up.
You've got barely a year left in power.
Yeah.
And Nana-Addo was loved by Ghana. I mean, I don't know, before coming into power, you saw in the UK, other part of the world, he was loved. I think people were expecting so much of him. What do you think has gone wrong with Nana-Addo? Is it because they saw him as the man of his word, a champion figure, very outspoken, very strong? What has happened to him?
Okay. Let me put it in this perspective. Okay. When the man was quite in his tender age, where he was quite a bit, yeah, that's different. He went to election 2008, 2012. These two elections definitely will change you
In what
in terms of your style of leadership. Okay. So people were saying that he was too radical at the time. And sometimes you listen to all these things and you adjust yourself to a certain level of a degree. But that is not really the fact. Because if you look at our system, and look, me, when I'm doing such an interviews, I'm not somebody who is too biased towards I will defend my government too much. Okay. Now, if you look at how our system is, I think the system needs a serious overhaul in terms of our what do we call it, institutions.
Okay.
I'm quite a bit frustrated all the time. Why is it that a case can go to court, okay, for years and years and years, and then it's still ongoing? I can't understand it. And it is something that Ghana needs to look at. The reason why people are talking a bit too negative about the president is because of how people perceive that people have, been corrupt in certain way, one way or the other, whether it's perception. Some people are right now in the court. Look at Opuli's case. How long has it been going on now?
Adumattah Mensah.
And Adumattah Mensah, whoever it is, or you name them. Okay, so this is a very serious frustration for me personally. And I think it's about time we need to look into these areas to make sure that we do things right. Because yes, we are trying our best. If you look at NPP in terms of transforming our institutions here, the reason why the system works is the institutions that are working because of the digitalization, the systems that are in place that is traceable in terms of doing manpower. And I'm not very sure. I won't blame the president specifically in terms of judiciary, because you have three arms of government, which is the
legislature.
Yeah, that's right. Legislature, executive, and then judiciary. And the judiciary, I have a problem with them. I have to be honest, because I don't know. Chief justices and chief justices have come and gone. What are we doing? What is it? What is the reason why? What are the necessary, let's say, structures that needs to be put in place? What are the facilities that they need? Do they really request? Do they get it? I don't know why our judiciary seems to be in a, and I have to choose my word really carefully. Personally, I think it's a cake, because I can't think far. You have JB Danko-Adu's death still ongoing. You have Mahama Adams in the northern part of our country still ongoing. You have all these criminal issues still. How long is it now? Why is it?
Land litigation.
Is that to do with the president?
No.
I don't want to believe that. Maybe if I will link it to the government, do they have to request certain things that they are not getting? Do we have competent chief justices that can put their foot down? That is governance as well in that system. Because if you're a chief justice, all your judges are under you. You are the manager. You have to manage them. And I believe that these areas is completely disappointing our system, and that we need to up that game. I can't link it directly to the president as the reason why people don't like him. But that is the knowledge that people don't have, because the moment someone has to be jailed, someone has to be investigated, everything goes back to the president. What is the special prosecutor doing now? At the moment, the president has given you your free will to do whatever investigation, something to do with corruption. And what are you doing? How long does it take to investigate cases? I don't really know. I don't really know. To be honest with you, I find it very, very disturbing that our country is suffering in that area. Because if these areas are working really well, it will definitely affect other areas. Because of these things that are so slow, judges are are not really up to their game. Lawyers play so much politics in the court, and switching things. The person is not well, and they postpone this, and then buy time and all that simply because that person has got a good lawyer.
Yeah.
But the one who doesn't have a good lawyer goes to jail.
Yeah.
But it's also part of the system. It should need to be heard. But do we have to abuse that to that extent? How long, what timing do we put on cases that are in court? And this is a very serious thing that needs to be addressed. It's not the president's fault completely. And these are one of the areas that the people are upset with the president. You get to another level where the people are upset with the president because reshuffle. People are upset with the president because he did not change our own finance minister, Oforiatta.
Right.
That one, I can tell you something today.
Tell me.
I can tell you something today.
Okay.
That I know that the president, with all the people that were agitating against that particular period where we were on our way to IMF, and that systems has been put in place, we've started the agreement and all that, and then we get to a point whereby people are saying, no, now we need to change the one who is on the driving wheel to, replace the person. That's fine. One, and I'll give you two specifics. Even here in the United Kingdom, if you are going for a loan, okay,
Right.
you need to have to meet certain requirements.
Right.
Your job, your bank details, your income, your expenditure, and all these things will be put together. Okay. Now, you come to that system of a country to country or country to World Bank, IMF. Okay, the person who has started this, number one, if the person is still alive and kicking well, he is not ill, okay, if you take that person out, that they're supposed to be looking at in terms of granting wherever you have to go from one step to another, has been done. And then suddenly you change that person. What's your name, please? Sorry, I forgot.
Andy.
Andy, yes. So then you take Ofake out, and then you bring Andy. Now you're going to restart that particular background check again on Andy. Okay, and that is going to take a bit of time.
But he has deputy. He has a deputy.
No, you don't. You didn't get what I'm trying to say.
I get it. So now we get the IMF loan.
No, it's not really to do with the loan, but I'm telling you the reason why he did not change our brother Oforiatta.
But now, let's say the deal has been finalized.
Okay, that's a good point now.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
So what was he doing wrong at that time that needed to be changed? Now, the president said something when even the party and all the parliamentarians met him. He said to them that, okay, now let's get this deal done. If it's done and it's out of the way, then let's talk about it. When the deal was done, is anything wrong now that probably was disturbing the people at the time? Because if you look at the time that they were saying they should change, the president should change Oforiatta, it was when the cedi depreciation was going down. And the dollar was going up, and then everything is so expensive in the system. People are not, the contractors were not paying, and all that. Okay, so now, is it still the same? Now, the people have not raised
into a dollar,
but it's just a perception. And I can tell you today that the president, and I'm not sitting here to just defend the president for defending his sake, because I had certain meetings that were very classified at the time, information at the time, I said, okay, which I can talk about it today. And I can tell you that the president, looking at how that time, he know that if we manage to get to that line and get out of that tunnel, okay, it will be good. for the country in the long term.
It was never part of his plan, though.
Well, but that's what I'm saying to you. So he took a bullet, because can you imagine the pressure from the whole country coming to you that changed this guy? Not only the power, the people from the country just like that, but your own over 80 MPs saying to you, we the external branches even wrote a letter. The whole of the 27 external branches also came up and signed a letter and sent it to him that this has to be done. We did that. But the president thought it through and said, no, the things that are going on, we need to cross that line. But if we go and change this man now and bring anybody else, it will draw us back. The moment it draws us back, even 2 weeks was going to be a disaster for the country. I would take that bullet to get it right. So he took a bullet for the country to make a decision that was in the interest of the country. And that is exactly what the president did. And I applaud him from that kind of tension and pressure that you can't sleep. And still, you became very resistant to all the powers that were taking you off, because you cannot, it's something that you cannot come out to explain really well to Ghanaians. Everybody is upset, but it's only you and your few teams that can just get through to that. It was painful, but he did. He managed to take us through, and we are through. So the people doesn't like the president very much as it stands now. But maybe the history will be the judge, because what he has done has brought us to a line where we can now build upon that structure and then in the long term fix our country.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Maintaining a presence at the forefront of a global issue with the desire to help others come to a resolve in personal and business affairs is why Andy D Legal and Immigration Associate was established.
We specialize in overseas British passport applications, bails and temporary admission, deportation and detention cases.
The profound pattern in achieving positive results with fragile cases in immigration, nationality, European Union and human rights law, adoption, marriage, divorce, litigation, and so on, up to date, has been broken, and that is why our client base continues to expand.
We also do representations at the UK border agencies and overseas consulate, human rights law, and settlement and leave to remain applications.
We have the right keys to unlock any case across the spectrum of law, locally in London and across the borders in Ghana, where our other branches are established.
We are located at 44 Broadway, Stratford, E15 1XH. Our telephone number is 0203 1300 751.
Do you want to step out proud and confident? Embraced in jewelry no attention can resist? Ahima Jewelry has fine pieces of rings, pendants, chains, and bracelets inspired by 9 different uplifting Idinkra symbols imbued with culture, love, and positivity. Ahima Jewelry is handmade with the highest quality materials, individually finished and infused with a sense of love and tradition. They are unique and stylish, made in sterling silver and 18 CT plated yellow and rose gold. Ahima Jewelry is your first-stop jewelry shop with worldwide delivery and extra attention on complimentary gift packaging. At Ahima, your jewelry are handmade with love.
Nana, nsu a amansan nyinaa ni di akyi. Wow. Nsu na mu oda aboadwo wo mu sei. Me manfo, nsu eye nkwa. Na sɛ wopɛ sɛ wonya nkwa tenten a apomuden ewo mu a, enum nsu bi akeke. No, Andy's natural mineral water. Andy's natural mineral water. No munsu papa.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. Okay, just before the break, you were talking about the reshuffling and why he's not doing it. What about the recent demonstrations?
Which one?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. You had it's everywhere. I mean, the ones they went to block the Flagstaff House or the Parliament.
If you can name
Is it Occupy Julo House? And there are a couple of
Occupy Julo House.
Yeah, something like that.
I think I've done an interview on that.
Okay. So, I mean, but there are demonstrations.
Yes.
I mean, you had even people that supported your agenda before coming into power, and they are now kind of standing back. Do you think this is a setup?
Well, in its own image in terms of the demonstration, I think the demonstration is everybody's right. It's in our constitution that we have the right to demonstrate.
Right.
But one thing I find sometimes a bit odd is that we Ghanaians tend to do certain demonstrations that really somehow is always influenced by some sort of a political party that want to be in power. Because demonstration is supposed to be a demonstration that, excuse me to say, makes sense. What are the actual reasons that are not, things that are not going right that needs to be addressed?
Are you saying everything is going right?
No. Did you hear me? I said
right.
things that are not right.
Right.
Okay, then you can't tell me that everything in the country is in a mess. There are certain areas probably that are not going well. Some areas are going well. But Occupy Julo House. I ask the meaning of that Julobi because I don't understand Ga. And the meaning that was given to me was that Kromfo Ba. Julobi Kromfo Ba. So occupy Kromfo Ba Fee. Personally, I find that one insulting.
To who?
To the country's image, because we were talking about the seat of government in our country.
Right.
All right? Irrespective of who lives there,
Right.
it's not for that person.
Okay.
You can't tell me that Downing Street is Kromfobafi,
Right.
a thief's son's house.
Right.
Okay? You see, I believe in presentation.
Right.
Whatever it is, irrespective of how agitated you are, irrespective of how angry you are, demonstration is supposed to be peaceful. Really well organized, because the reason for the demonstration is that something is not going well and that you want it to be heard and fix it with those who said occupy Okromfobafi's demonstration, but not that title. Because they said we should fix the country.
Right.
Nobody can tell me here that Ghana doesn't need to be fixed. But how do you fix a nation? Is it overnight? No. Now, you put all these instances of the happenings around the world that I have already spoken about in place. And then you weigh it properly. And then you also have to reason a little bit to see your points. Your points, where does it lie? What are you talking about? Be specific and let the people know that this is not right, that is not right, this is not right, and that is the reason why we are here, and that we are coming to present to you what we have highlighted. I believe in that.
Do you believe that the Constitution needs to be looked at again, simply because President Akufo-Addo championed the freedom of speech in Ghana? I mean, for people to now be able to freely speak their mind. And they are speaking, and in fact, it's not just the Julobi. I mean, there are more harsh words towards him, which I believe is insulting, not to just him as a person, but to the seat What do you think needs to be done?
Well, the thing is, you're comparing his time of demonstration,
right,
and you're comparing now this time demonstration.
Right.
He has now come in because that time there was that culture of silence,
right,
and that they said, let's fight for people,
right,
to be able to air their views.
Right.
How do you air your views? Do you air your views by going to destroy things? Do you air your views by going to also disrupt other people's businesses and things like that? No. That is not the demonstration we're talking about. Airing your views in terms of demonstration, that is the reason why you acquire for a license to even pursue it. And then the police will also be in place to guide you through, because they want it to be peaceful.
Right.
But when it is not peaceful, I don't think it's something that we have to entertain. But the people still manage to get their petition through to the presidency. And I saw the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Honorable Adumattah Bosman, came in with his team and came and collected their petition. Beautifully done. Whatever happened out there in terms of distractions and confusion that they cause, that is criminal. If some of them are criminal issues, the police deal with it. Did we block them that we don't want them to bring the petition? No. We accepted them to come to us, and they brought the petition. That is fair, because you know why? People, and we are human, and we are feeling pain. United Kingdom, we've seen demonstrations upon demonstrations. Nurses were on demonstration, train drivers were on demonstration, all teachers were on demonstration. Is it not also part of the world? So Ghana is Ghana exception to that? No. So it is because of what is happening in our system today. That is why every country, if you look at it, many people are going on demonstrations in Hong Kong, in Japan, in Thailand, Australia, Germany, Holland, Belgium, United Kingdom, Ghana, Nigeria, everywhere there is demonstration. Doesn't that tell us anything? Is Ghana exception to that? No.
Is Nana concerned about the next election at all?
Nana Addo is the president of the Republic of Ghana. By a new patriotic party.
Right.
Now, he has said it, that he will prefer that he will hand over power to NPP government. So, winning power in 2024 definitely will be his concern. Not concern as negative concern that at all cost you have to win power. But he's concerned that we have to do things right, so that by the time we get to that point, we are okay. Ghanaians will be okay with us. And that is the reason why I'm saying to you that we are working seriously, tirelessly, day and night, making sure that we bring the country. We are appealing to them and then telling them what we have done.
Okay.
Then they can listen to us.
The free SHS. People have complained about it. I mean, I've got workers that say they still pay school fees and whatnot. How does the free SHS work?
Free SHS is the best thing that's ever happened.
How does it work? I mean, because is it totally free? What is it exactly?
It is free. Free is free.
So how come parents are still paying?
They're paying what?
For school fees and...
They're not paying... Who is the parent that told you that they're paying school fees?
Every worker of mine...
It's telling you that they're paying school fees.
Yes, they pay for everything. So I'm concerned.
Well, you changed the statement now.
Right.
You said they're paying for everything.
Including school fees, yes.
They're paying school fees?
Yes, even examination.
Where did you really get these research
This is not...
Is it just people telling you?
No. These are my...
You have literally research.
No. Not research. These are facts. These are workers of mine.
So workers of yours are paying school fees.
School fees.
Maybe they are paying school fees because of maybe somebody is doing some dodgy thing somewhere.
You've never heard that?
No, free senior high school is free.
So
it can never be compromised. As say, you coming to tell me that free senior high school is not free. It is free. We are giving even free food, morning, afternoon, and then evening. They are eating free. They sleep free in the boarding house. Electricity is free. Their fees are free. School uniforms are free. Even at some point, right? The clothing in which they are wearing at some point, 1 or 2 or 3, is free. But you see, that's where I'm always concerned about our institutions, because it's free, but maybe somebody is sitting somewhere, right, doing some dubious things. Before the person got caught, it's too late. Okay? Nanado did not.
So why is it not communicated to the people? That is my problem, because this is a situation where you have someone in the remote side of Ghana who doesn't hear it, and there is this teacher or headmaster for a particular school saying, you need to pay this, that, and that. And how do you communicate it to the people? How do they get it?
Well, but the people know that, you see, that is where we, as Ghanaians, especially as you said that, this system is quite a bit well equipped, that the people, even in their mindset, know they are right. Okay? If somebody is in, let's say, and I always use that country, that city or town, because I've been there. All right, I love the name Bonkrubu Yoyo.
What?
Yoyo.
Where is that?
It's in the northern part of Ghana.
Okay.
Okay, or maybe Oshibariate.
Okay.
Okay. These people there, they each literally even go to farm and sometimes bring even body the plantain to the headmaster. The headmaster there is like a king. They don't even know their right, excuse me to say that. So when the headmaster is also trying to, push them that line where they are not really familiar with, it's not going to be known. Nobody is going to hear them. So unless somebody like you,
right? So
once you have heard it now, if you can give us specific names, then we can trace it.
Oh no, then
and make sure.
Well, then do
probably not from there.
Yeah, but I just want to be specific. So books are free.
Yes.
Uniforms are free.
Everything is free.
Everything.
Everything is free. Everything.
I think your communication team should do better.
Everything is free.
They should do better.
Now go and check. If it's not.
Yeah, because these are genuine people. These are people in Accra, Ebri, Eastern.
Yeah, but then that is exactly why I'm saying this to you. If they can just bypass the whole system and come and tell you, Andy, in the United Kingdom, whilst they can report it next door. And their fear, I don't know something about it. The headmaster is going to be suspended. Maybe it's going to affect my child. These are the fears that has been put in the people. Here, they will tell you. They will report. They will write, as a matter of fact, and make official complaint. And even that is also another aspect of this conversation. Even if someone is bold enough to write a complaint to the department, how do we also look at it? Are we robust enough to also take action? That is where I'm talking about. Our institution is, Honorable Bichum is transforming our systems of education. It won't change overnight. The man is working tirelessly, trying to shape our educational system. He calls it transformational system. That's the word he used. He's transforming our education to a certain degree. So he himself cannot solve all the problems. That's why we have the agencies that are also looking into all this. And these are the agencies that are corrupt. All the time we blame the government, but the agencies are also playing a serious role somehow, because we can't get, look, Rishi Sunak can sit here in Downing Street and press a button and pull the whole of Birmingham on his map, on his table. And whatever is happening there, he can read it just like that. We don't have that. Ours is manpower. You have to go there. Sometimes people are complaining, oh, too many ministers and this and that. People have to be on the ground. They have to travel. They have to be there. There's no systems in place. And so sometimes this argument of all these put together, this country needs to be fixed. I'm telling you, Andy, but it will take time. It takes dedication. It takes long-term governance. It is not that 8 years and 8 years that this one will come and do a little bit better, and this one will come and derail the whole thing, and then the other one will come and then do us better, and then another one will come and derail it. And I'm being honest with you. You put the two governments together, NDC government and NPP government. If it's not we, the people, that doesn't want to tell the truth, we know clearly that there is a serious distinction between the two. NPP comes to government and you could see that we are building things, we are working, we are trying to touch the base, we are creating employment, we are doing everything, implementation of this free SHS. It takes a bold decision person to do it. And you know the outcome of it? The people don't believe, and now they don't even want you to even mention it. In Ghana, when you go to the studio and you mention free SHS, they say, oh, whatever in this NPP is going to say is free SHS. Free SHS is what is going to build our country, because knowledge is power.
Right.
If we don't have that educational background that the people of this country have, and we're going to have over 80% uneducated people in our system, how is it going to be fixed? We have to fix it, but it can never be done overnight. It has to be a systematic approach. It's like an ideas that you have actually laid out, all right? What you have to do, it has become an existing idea. You have to improve upon them over and over and over. But then when you implement systems in place and somebody comes in, instead of improving upon them and then work it down and destroy it, then you come back and then put it back again. And then we ourselves are our own enemies, NPP, because we don't treat our people well. We don't look after our people. You were talking about communication. The people who are supposed to be communicating for the party, they are hungry. They are hungry. We are not looking after them. And I'm being very honest. We are not. How are you going to get the best communication out? You can't. And that's the reason why so many things, if I am to give you this to go through, these are all achievements that NPP have done. Look at about.
Yeah, I've read.
Yeah, you've seen
pictures and seen.
You've seen it. It is not a joke. Right. It's not a green book thing.
But is there an internal struggle in your party?
Internal struggle as
in terms of with the Alan, Kennedy, Bawumia, and the rest. Mm-hmm.
Especially when you get to an election year. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't want to win election? Who will put his money into an election and decide that, oh, I'm just going, I don't want to win? But there are some people, they just want to come in and just display themselves. That one we know. But there are potential people, somebody like Honorable Alan Martin, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, Honorable Vice President. You're talking about Honorable Freya Kutu and co. Okay? These are people who wants to win election to go to the country.
Right.
As for the rest, yes, we've all seen the results they got. Mm-hmm. We're talking about this four. Mm-hmm. And so, whichever way their supporters will also do everything they can to make sure that they win. And that is where the struggle is. So it's a struggle. It's not a serious problem, but it is a struggle. So now, but I believe that if we can manage it well, we've done it. Personally, I think we even though I was sitting in the National Council and NEC meeting at the time when we made the decision, I think probably if we were to do it a bit earlier, it would have stopped us from all these things that are happening to us, because it's been stretched too much and it's causing a little bit of too much of a damage. Mm-hmm. That is what I'll call it. You did us a favor, but fact is fact, and I think we could have managed it much better than how we did it. It's hurting us, what I would say to the people is that let us be calm, let us respect each other, let us tone down a little bit on our platforms and whatever area that we are in the party to make sure that we all get it right. In the end, elections, there's not going to be tie. There's not going to be tie. It's not going to be tie. One is going to win the election, even if it becomes a runoff at the end. Even if we go to 5 runoffs, in the end, we might probably toss a coin for somebody to lead us. You know, so somebody definitely will lead us. But we are destroying each other too much to extend that it's not right. And from experience, genuinely, I think the way we are going after each other in terms of labeling people and also driving people away.
You are one of the first people in the NPP. It looks like you do not accept that Honorable Alan Kyerematen is out of the party.
Honorable Alan Kyerematen is an asset to the party.
Is he out of the party?
Well, according to him, he's on paper, yes, but technically, I don't believe he should be out. I will appeal to all the leadership, the president, and all the election committee, the party structure, for them to do everything they can in their power to bring Honorable Alan Kyerematen back to the party. Because look, this is what is going to happen. And I think that will be probably a bit of an indictment on him as well. Like, he resigned first at some point. Whether it was something that was his fault or not his fault, that record cannot be erased. It's there. Now he has resigned the second time. Okay. Now, coming in as what? Personally, I believe they should bring him back and make him become one of the most architects of the drawing board of our party. Make him one of our kingmakers, like somebody, even because he's not going to come back and, back into the race anymore. But after the race, do we allow him to go independent? No, it's definitely going to go against us, one way or the other. And that I think we need to bring him, sit down with him, let him know that we value him. He's a great asset. He's a founding member. He served this country. He has served the party. And that I value him so much. He's a great asset to this party that we don't need to let him go. The party should do everything they can to make sure he come and be a backbone of the party.
Is there a push for one person to be the leader of your party at the moment? Is there a push internally for a particular person to become the leader?
How do you define that? Is there a push? Because that's quite a bit vague.
Yeah, but that is speculative in terms of what Alan is saying, what Kennedy is saying. And it's obvious that there is a push for the vice president to become the leader of the party.
Give me an example.
It was clear from your just past election. I mean, it can't be clear enough. It's obvious.
What do you mean by obvious?
The election was obviously clear. I mean, it can't be that.
Didn't we have election?
So, no, you do have election, but all the assault that happened during the election time.
The assaults.
The assaults. I mean, there were assaults on people.
Okay. As for that one,
right.
I wouldn't barge into that, right, because in Africa's election, okay, those who were hurt in the process, I sympathize with them. I wish them speedy recovery. But if out of 100%, if we have a pocket of, things that did not go right, out of 100%, we got almost more than 95 or 99% right. It is a free, fair election. Nobody was carrying a gun, pointing a gun on anybody's head to vote for anybody. It was a secret ballot. I went to Ghana. I voted. Nobody dictated for me as to where I should vote, put my vote. Okay. They took my phone away from me. I went with the former general secretary, he's a best friend, John Mahama. His phone was taken away from him. That we don't want people to even take a picture and go and show to individuals that I voted for you. And all these polling centers that we put across, that is what happened there. So the election was fair, in my point of view. What it is that people are complaining, and I can also understand their standpoint of view in terms of them being stakeholders in the game, that government appointees and ministers are all trooping behind the vice president. That one, they are complaining about it. But I saw Honorable Amewu as a minister of railway in Honorable Alanche Martin's campaign. Do you understand? So I'm just giving you a few scenarios of that. Let's say, you see, what it is that I might not be able to come up with all the facts that they know. But let's say, for example, if Honorable Efri Akuto had the opportunity that all the ministers, all the government appointees were on his side, was he going to complain? No.
The Mahama is clearly, leading. Why can't you all come together, have to maybe just Kennedy and Bawumia so that we move on?
Well, what about the constitution?
Well, I'm sure you can still do something.
Well, we've done that. So even said to Honorable Alanche Martin in our private meeting that we had, that I wish, because that time he said to me that I should rally NPP UK behind him, as everybody will, wish for, that I'm, talking to you as a chairman and I'm pleading with you, come and support me, Everybody is doing that. Okay. But I said to him that, Honorable, in fact, I wish that you, the leadership of this party, locked yourself in the room and came out with 2 people for us to just take them because of the terrain in which we are in. If you look at how the environment we're in, even the economy is very hard for people to even, survive. But we're going to be wasting too much money in elections. And then also the backfighting that will be going on, insults and here and there, punches and things like that. I wish that is what you people would do. That was even way before we opened the nomination. I said that to him. But constitution is constitution. So if they would have managed it that way, probably would have been so much easier. And I'm telling you, if they managed to do that, maybe the whole country would have accepted it.
Of course.
But I don't know the backroom talks that went on, but we couldn't get it that way than coming back and use our own constitution to, use it to follow the procedure and process. And that is what is happening now. It's the constitution that is at work. It has to go through the end. By the end of the November 4th, we will definitely have a leader. And I think, as you have said it, that there is some sort of things that are not going right in our party. I think it's quite a bit early. We've got good time to also restructure the party, bringing the people back on board, have a proper conversation and a proper dialogue, and then bring all of us together. We have an assignment. We are building a country. We're not building a party. We are building a country. The country first. And that the party should be united so that we cannot jeopardize the front of the way people are talking. It seems it's like they're doing NPP a favor. Everybody watching me today, and I'm telling them the truth. Everybody watching me today, NPP party and government is working for Ghana's development in the long term. It will affect your child. It will affect you when you are old. It will affect your son, your in-law, your uncle. And so leadership in terms of governance, we don't just use feelings to elect. We need to sit down and calculate and see who is fit to do the work, who can have, and I don't even choose leadership based on who is leading. And that should be another education for Ghanaians.
Another time.
You look at the person who is leading as of Ake. Who are the people behind him or her? Okay. You look at the structure of those people, their quality, and see if there are people, because it's not the Ofake who is going to lead.
It looks
it's
like
the people who are going to be behind
the person.
That person is what makes the government work. So the two parties are there. Let us go and check the background of NDC. Now they've got their leader, which is our former president, John Mahama. Now let's go back and check the people who are behind him, those who are talking on those radios. These are the people who are going to govern the country for us. Now let's come to MPP and also check the people who are going to be behind all our candidates that we are going to choose one. You look at that and you see the bunch of people who are behind them, their stature, their structure, their knowledge, their experience.
Do you have any preference at this moment?
So you look at those people, their knowledge level, their wisdom.
Okay, finally, because
and now, then you can look at how they will perform. That will give you the narrative and the lines in which you know that the country will go.
I'm sure this election is now out of your hands. It's now in the hands of the other delegates. Who will be your preference?
Who will be my preference as
a leader of your party?
Or leader of my party? The preference of my leader of my party, we've got Honorable Adenimo, we've got Honorable Friakuto, we've got Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, we've got the Vice President. These four, I am telling you the truth. Any one of them who will come will beat John Mahama.
Okay. Okay, thank you for coming. It's been a great pleasure. We'll watch out the space for the 4th of November, correct?
Definitely.
All right. And I hope you'll be coming back to enlighten us.
Of course. Okay. I think now it's also a good time to be here. It's my first time, and I must admit, you guys have put structures in place. I think it has to be advertised. We need to get our people who will come from Ghana to come here. For you people also to have the opportunity to interview the people and get the facts from them. Well, we are small fishes. So
we'll be ever ready for you guys.
Thank you. So thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Well, guys, this is where time will bring us. Thank you for watching. This is the Hour Show. Remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel. That is ADTV. And we would like to also thank our proud sponsors, Andy D Legal Associates, Andy's Natural Mineral Water, Andy's Paradise Estates, and of course, Ahima Jewelry Collections. Thank you and have a good day and goodbye.